Well, hello. This is my live stream of burning up a character, an NPC, for my campaign of The Burning Wheel by Luke Crane. I've been at this campaign for maybe, well, a good long while now, a couple months probably. And the characters are going to go meet a major NPC in the next session, and I had some stats burned up for this character using stuff from the back of the book in the monster section. But the more I thought about it and how important this character was to the campaign, and especially one of the PCs, I decided I should probably try burning up the character, and we'll see if we hit that. If we manage to actually get it done. So I'm just gonna do a little bit of housekeeping here. That should work. And let's see if I can pop this out a bit. Unfortunately, I have a very small monitor, so my options here are not super great. No, it can't make that any smaller. Alright, that's fine. Oh, there we go. Nice. Cool. Alright, so I'm just going to pop this into chat. Get that sharing link. Here we go. All right. So let's burn up this character. Let's burn up Ignacia. I believe that's how you pronounce her name in my gross Anglo accent. Okay, so we're adding a new character. As you can see here, I have a version of this character made already, but we're gonna do a proper character burning. Okay, we'll just save that, and here we go. Come on, character sheet. Yeah. Alright, so this is where we start. So this character is a sorceress. She is a powerful sorceress, living away from her homeland in the borderlands between her land and the land the PCs come from. The PCs are on their way. This is a quest towards her homeland. And one of the PCs is her former student and lover. And they have unfortunately run into their master. Or rather, their master has come sought them out on their way to their destination. So this character is definitely going to get into some debates with the characters, with the PCs. This character is definitely going to cast some magic. This character definitely has some powerful magic. I think there's a significant number of life paths on the table here. But we need to check it out. We need to go through the process. So let's do this. Unfortunately, I can't put a PDF up on the screen for you to take a look at, but I will read out the things that I'm going to do so that you can follow along. And if any of you are not familiar with what The Burning Wheel is, it is a fantasy role-playing game that is very stat and crunch heavy, but also very story focused. So this makes it fairly unique. It's what it's known for. It's also known for very long campaign play and a lot of character change and progression. So when you burn up a character, when you do character creation in this game, it takes a very long time. It's up there with games like Shadowrun in terms of character creation, but you get very interesting characters. So, let's see. Let's go to character burning. Also, we'll be using the Codex because she is a sorceress, and we may be grabbing some things from here. The thing is that the spellcasters who come from her culture specifically in this game use the normal sort of Vancian sorcery that you will find, I said, in the normal Burning Wheel text, Burning Wheel Gold. So we're not using art magic as described in this book. All right. Fire in the Garden, page 77. Here we go. All right, so step 1 of character burning, character concept. When designing a character for Burning Wheel, it is best to start with an overall rough idea. A wily former slave hawker, a young headstrong wizard, a brutal knight, a cunning orc chieftain, a joke-cracking adventuring dwarf, or a sorcerer-hunting elf. Well, the general concept is that she is a Bolsian, that's her culture, and we haven't quite decided on the culture traits for these characters yet, but she is a sorceress, and she is a sorceress who lives away from her homeland. So that's our basic idea for this character. So the next thing is to choose life paths. So the GM will set a life path limit. 5 life path characters are veterans, so I think she is a 5 life path character. Oh my god, this is going to be a long character burn. But I burned up a dwarf already, and that was an even more extensive thing. It's like over 200 years old, so it's fine. Alright, next thing. Choose character stock. Decide if you want your character to be a dwarf, elf, orc, or man. Well, she is a man. She is a human of average stock in this game. You may only choose life paths, skills, spells, and resources from your own character stock. Yes, you can take traits from other stocks once you get into trait votes, but at the start of game you only get things from your own stock. Pick 'em. Once the GM and the players have agreed on a limit, players choose life paths for their characters. So you start with your born life path. So we are going to go ahead and do our life paths, which you can see here. So character concept is not Dwarven Master Enchanter, but Bolsian Sorceress. Life paths 5, stock, man. Alright. Let's go. Believe this is the first time I'm burning up a manish character. So it is going to be some work. There's a lot of life paths for men, so-called. Life paths of man. Alright, so I believe as a Bolsian, which is Bolso is a city-state, so I think this character is probably city-born, which means she is city-born, or yeah, city-born That is 12 years of her life. She gets 10 resources. And the leads for that are Servitude, Court, Noble, Outcast. So she gets also... Well, look. You know, Bolso may be for nerds. But you know what? I think... Okay, look. Bolso nerds are debate club nerds, and also I would say Bolso nerds are like probably like the chess club or the math club nerds. Those are the sort of Bolsian nerds. Palladian nerds, which are from the other culture in our game, would be like the drama club nerds. So let's not say that Palladians are not also nerds, because I think the nerdiness is spread across both of these cultures. Folka, who is one of the PCs in this game, is 100% a huge nerd. So, like, let's just be okay with that. Alright. Got our 4 general points here, and 1 trait point for being born city-born. Okay, so where do we need to get to for this character? I think, where does she end up? I believe she is a rogue wizard at the end of this. I think she's an outsider. And I think she's not a summoner. She is not a witch. I think she's a rogue wizard. Yeah. Yeah, okay, so that's where we end. Rogue Wizard. So that is in the Outcast. And requires Cultist, Augur, Neophyte Sorcerer, or Arcane Devotee. Because I'm kind of thinking... I think we may be Neophyte Sorcerer into Rogue Wizard. Because Arcane Devotee is like magic nerd. That's all you like. You just know you're magic wise. It doesn't mean you can actually do magic. I think that's how this goes. So I believe that city is Arcane Devotee. Interesting. Ooh. Where is this? There's too many Manish life paths. It's a little bit hard to navigate. With like a little index at the start, that'd be nice. Ah, noble setting. Gotcha. So you can take the gifted trait as a arcane devotee if you are noble, but I think Bolso does not have nobles. I think Bolso is a republic that has... it's a merchant republic, so it doesn't have a nobility. So there's no one in the noble setting in Bolso. All right. Okay, so that's... I think we're looking at Neophyte Sorcerer as the lead into... Okay, so 1, 2, 3... It's 3, 4, 5. Rogue Wizard. Rogue Wizard. And before that, Neophyte Sorcerer. And before that, what are the leads into Neophyte Sorcerer? So what these life paths describe are like the different stages of your character's life. And you can kind of like fill in what these things mean by taking traits and skills and kind of reasoning out, well, how did they get these things? What does that say about them as a person? Yeah. So. Neophyte Sorcerer has no requires. Interesting. So this raises the question of whether she does 2 stages. Whether she was a Neophyte Sorcerer for 12 years, whether she was a Rogue Wizard for a longer period of time. How long has she been in exile? Let's see, how long is the Rogue Wizard life path? 6 years. You know what? I think she's been Rogue Wizard for 2. I think she just stuck there she was stuck there for 12 years. I think that's a reasonable amount of time before the game started. So let's say Neophyte Sorcerer into Rogue Wizard. And before that, what was she? Was she a student? I kind of feel like she may have been a barrister or something like that, but I don't think you can go straight into that. I don't think she was a merchant. I don't think she was a banker. Well, advocate. Requires student or young lady. Skills, rule of law, bureaucracy, persuasion, history, rhetoric. Oh, man. Because here's the thing about Neophyte Sorcerer, is it implies that she had a teacher or she was studying. Did she just... has she only been in exile for 6 years? That seems wrong to me. And I don't think she's 6 life paths. So this is what happens when you think about people's actual life and the length of their lifespan. Because as it works out, she's going to be about... Yeah, yeah, exactly. So does her exile timeline match up with Astrid's? Yeah, that's a very good point. Here's our character Astrid, who was her student and her lover. So 6 years ago, Astrid became a rogue wizard. So I'm thinking she has to be double rogue wizard here. She had to have been practicing magic for a longer period of time than Astrid did. I don't think this was a collegial relationship. I think this was a I am the master, you are the student relationship. So yeah, so I think she's just student into neophyte sorcerer. Or sorry, is it student or is it scholar? I think it's student, right? Student, yeah. I guess she was probably a law student, and then she became a neophyte sorcerer. All right, let's do this. So, student, 4 years. It's also in city dweller, so there's no leads. Resources. You get your sweet 5 resources. You get +1 mental. And you get 11 skill points. Boom. And 3 trait points. Not bad. Oops. Yeah, 11 skill points. Yeah, not general. Yeah. All right. Next is Neophyte Sorcerer. 6 years. Also City Dweller, so no leads. 12 resources. Another mental. 6 skill points. And 1 trait point. Then Rogue Wizard. So she was 12, 16. She was 22 when she went into exile. Wow. She's still pretty young, but I guess that makes sense. I want to see how old Astrid is and see if we need another life path in here to make this the kind of relationship I imagine. So this is 6 years for Rogue Wizard. This is 1 lead because it's going into Outcast. And resources of 6. No, wait. Resources of 24. Boom! Get that money. And 1 mental, 1 physical. 8 skill points. And 3 trait points. And then another 6 years. No lead. And another 24 resources. I think that's how that works. If you take the same... oh, no, there's a reduction in what you get if you take the same thing twice. Yeah, that's right, that's right. That's right. So it's not going to be exactly the same. Repeating life paths. You can repeat a life path as many times as you like. The second time a path is taken, time, resources, stat, and skill points are earned as normal. Time, resources, stat, and skill points. The second skill and trait on each life path are required. If there is no second trait, subtract 1 trait point from the path. The third time a character... Okay, so there's no penalty for taking it twice. There's a penalty for taking it 3 times. Okay, got it. So, yeah, she's just balling out of control here with resources, which she's going to need to get some magic, that's for sure. And skills 8 and 3. Okay, so that puts her at 35 years old. And if I took Advocate, she would be 41. Hi, Lauren. She'd be 41 years old. I think that is a little bit older than I imagine her to be. How old is Astrid? Astrid is 25. Yeah, I imagine her being roughly 10 years older than Astrid. I think that makes sense. I don't know. 41. So means when they met, she would have been 35 and Astrid would have been 19 if we take 40. If we go the current route, it means that when they met, she was 29 and Astrid was 19. I don't know. So Astrid's going to be 19 either way when they met. You know what? Fuck it. I think she is 41. Yeah. I think that's how this is. Okay. So let's do this. I think this may be, I don't know. I mean, it just all colors the relationship so much, but I think this makes sense. And I have to think about, you know, how her age is gonna color how I roleplay this character too. Okay. All right, and advocate. Uh, 6 years. And given what we have established about Bolso as a culture, which is that they are extremely litigious, um, and that they are a country run by merchants and lawyers, and that their magic is deeply, or their magic is deeply implicated in their legal system. I think it makes a lot of sense for her to start as a advocate and then become a sorcerer. Probably got introduced to sorcery by one of the bar members or something like that. Advocate, making that bank, 25 resources. Yep. Get 1 mental. Oops, I got 1 mental. And skill points, 6 skill points. And 1 trait point. Okay, cool. What do you mean, what? What are you whatting? Yeah, well, she's a lawyer. I mean, of course she's rich. I mean, that's not actually true anymore, but I think in this setting, yeah, if you're a lawyer, you're gonna make bank, as long as you're not incompetent. Okay. Let's do some skills. Wait. Yeah, I mean, she can be fancy. But the thing you're forgetting here is that magic is incredibly expensive in terms of resources. So, yeah. I mean, that is a factor. All right, so she is a 41-year-old. And a 41-year-old. Yeah. All right, so before I do stats, I want to get her basic skills and traits down, from each of her life paths. So Cityborn doesn't give you anything you have to buy. Student, you must buy right. And you must buy... You need to buy... No, wait, you don't need to buy the first trait. Don't think. The first skill and trait of each life path is required. So the first trait of a student is Rabble Rouser. Yeah. Fun. Okay. The next thing she took was Advocate. Rule of Law. And Shrewd. Yeah. Next she took Neophyte Sorcerer. Which requires write, which we already have, and therefore read. And she takes read, and she also takes extremely respectful of one's betters. Very good. Very good. Living that student life. Alright, and then she takes Rogue Wizard, which is sorcery. And inconspicuous. Extremely respectful of your grace, yes. And she also takes spooky and aura of fear. Wow. Nice. Metal as fuck. Okay, so these are all required. Well, yeah, I mean, of course, you go law student, advocate, and then rogue wizard. When you go into grad school, you major in rogue wizardry. Right. Cool. My life paths were city-born, student. What is it, like student? Man, I've been a student for such a long time. Yeah. Okay, so that put me 12, 16. So yeah, student would put me at 20. Student. Then I was a can burn up your own life paths. Oh man. These are so good. I think I just went student, scholar, and then that's it. Extremely boring life paths. I took read, write, philosophy. So student, what was it? Student would put me at, so 12, 16, 20, 24. And then if I took another student, that would put me at 28. That's about right. Yeah. So student. Uh, so I get read, write, philosophy, rule of law, and my traits would be rabble rouser, drunk, and geometric. um. Yep. Then I would take history and I don't know, city-wise, symbology. Yep, good times. Scholar, I get foreign languages. Pretty good. Research, foreign languages, instruction. I feel like those are the skills I got. Traits, I get know-it-all and bookworm. Good times. Oh, you know what? It's not... I feel like it isn't student, 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 student. I feel like it's student, 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 thinker, scholar, because thinker is the best. I feel like this is my life in grad school. Thinker. Oh no, thinker can only be taken if the character's starting age will be 36 years or older. So I didn't take thinker. Thinker is pretty good though. Skills are philosophy, strategy, strategy games, calligraphy, history, painting. So, yeah. You're just this armchair thinker of no real significance. Armchair philosopher, armchair general, armchair etc. That's probably where I am in my life right now. After scholar, take thinker. Alright, so let's get back to this character. Right. So we got the require skills. Mm-hmm. Okay, we do your age and stats. Mental and physical pools. Mental points may be spent on perception and will. Nice. City board, student, student, captain, student, physician. Very good. Crazy witch. That's definitely my mother. It would be, I could burn up her life pass, but they would definitely end with crazy witch. There's no question. Folklore, yes. Herbalism, yes. A little crazy, yes. Oh, it doesn't have astrology though, so that doesn't work. Maybe she went crazy witch into rogue wizard. But rogue wizard gives you a lot of resources, so I guess that doesn't quite fit. All right. Anyway. Let's do this. Yeah. Will perception. The next burning will campaign is we just burn our own lives. Well, yeah, my character would be kind like, I don't know, maybe they'd be interesting. I feel like they're a little bit boring. I would just go around and be a know-it-all. So feel like beliefs. Oh, yeah, right. Let's look at Astrid here for her stats. B5 will, B6 perception. Yeah. I feel like B5 is reasonable. Oh wait, she's got more points than that. So let's say B6 will, B6 perception. Physical pool. Got to get that fort. Something like that. Cool. See you, Lauren. Have a good sleep. Dream of burning your own character. Okay, so yeah, both will and perception are important for sorcerers. And fort is really important because yeah, you can fall asleep at the computer. Good idea. Fort is really important because it is used when you cast spells to see if you're taxed or not. So that's what we're gonna do. Cool. So let's move on. Stats, we did stats. I don't think she's got Gray Shade in anything. There's no point in doing Gray Shade. Because she's not going to get any advancement, so who cares? Skills. Set general points aside. Total up skill points earned. Skill choices. So all required skills must be opened. Does power engage with the damage of spells? Good question. Let's take a look at the spell list, because I feel like it's kind of talked about there. Here we go. No, it is based on will. It appears. Yep, it's will. So yeah, no, power is not an issue. Yeah, yeah. Cool. Yeah. So let's carry on with the burning. Let's get the... Yeah, let's get the roots of all these skills. So right, I believe, is probably perception. Perception, agility. Okay. Perception and agility. Rule of law. Is perception. Yeah, I think it's like anytime it's about making something, it is always perception agility, if I remember correctly. Read perception. So this is the root stat that you use to roll the skill. So you can see, well, sorcery is perception, so that's why you want to have a high perception stat. And then will is used for like how much damage your spell does. So you also want to have a high will stat. So you can't just stack perception or will. You need both in order to be an effective spellcaster. Inconspicuous is will. Alright, cool. These are all opened. And then we'll move on to traits. We don't need, none of these are special. Don't need to worry about that right now. So let's do the rest of her traits. So she has a whopping 39 skill points to spend here. So you best believe she's getting that Gray Shade sorcery, because Astrid has G5 sorcery, and obviously Ignacia is going to have a higher sorcery than her student, so let's make that happen. So sorcery will be Gray Shade. And let's say she's gonna put what is this about? What does this do? Oh, that's a start. Okay, gotcha. Let's say, how much can you stack into a skill at the start? How much can we burn on sorcery? Because we can spend a lot. There is no limit. Yeah. Cool. So yeah, let's say like G G7. Let's see what we're looking at. G10 sorcery. 27 points remaining. We'll see if that makes sense. So we'll just start there. Because yeah, I mean, she spent 2 life paths as a rogue wizard, so I think she's pretty serious about this magic thing. And now let's look at what other skills we can buy. Because I'm sure there's some interesting stuff we want to buy here. Student. So we have read and write already. We can also take philosophy. We have rule of law, history, symbology. So we're definitely taking symbology. Symbology is probably perception. Perception. And that is not required, but it is opened. Okay. Definitely going to stack some points into symbology. What else can we take as student? Anatomy, we're going to take astrology. Astrology is perception. It's also opened. City-wise, street-wise. I think she may take philosophy as well. That's probably also perception. Oh, it's will perception. Okay, makes sense. Will perception. Also opened. Cool. That's it for student. So let's move on to advocate. What are we going to take from that? So we have rule of law already. Bureaucracy, persuasion, history, and rhetoric. So I think this is persuasion. And she's probably going to take history, I think. And probably also rhetoric. Don't think bureaucracy so much. And I'll have to decide what kind of history this is. It's probably... I don't know, I'm going to think about that. Maybe obscure history, maybe local history. We'll give it some thought. Next, we have Neophyte Sorcerer. Write, read, research, symbology, great masters wise. I think she's going to take research. And that's probably it. I don't think great masters wise is really important there. And finally we have Rogue Wizard. Sorcery, inconspicuous, graveyard-wise, astrology, bloodletting, ugly truth, apocalypse-wise, enchanting, alchemy. So I think probably... Is she going to take enchanting? I guess she has to take enchanting because she probably taught Astrid enchanting. And ugly truth. Yeah, she's totally ugly truth, yeah. And apocalypse-wise, I don't think that's interesting. I don't think this is a... I don't think we're interested in the apocalypse in this game. This is not an apocalypse world. Cool. There's those skills. So we got 18 points remaining. Let's see what we can do here. So, what are we going to advance? What are obvious things to advance? So, writing, of course. Reading, definitely. Rule of law, I think she did spend time as both a student and an advocate, so I think that's going to get an advance. Astrology, persuasion. Oops. What's this about? Take 1 point in enchanting at least. You know what? She doesn't have instruction. Oh, she's gonna have to take that as a general skill. That's right. Yeah. Because otherwise, she couldn't be Aster's teacher, so she's got to take instruction. Symbology, for sure. Rhetoric and research. I feel like inconspicuous, not so much. He probably doesn't actually give a shit about this. And philosophy, I'm not... Let's read the skill description for philosophy. I'm not too sure what I feel about that. 287. Philosophy is the pursuit and discussion of wisdom, discussing the nature of truth, logic, reason, good, evil, and the divine. Often it is at odds with law and doctrine. So, the things you can do. Ascertaining the metaphysical substance of the object to be venerated during a religious ritual. Divining the original meaning of symbols originating from a particular school of thought. Brooding over the futility of material gain in a truly just society. I love these so much. Recalling the allegorical and instructive purpose of the demon or angel you are about to summon. Estimating the mystery that is the divine. Figuring out the number of angels that fit on the head of a pin in a manner that is easily explained to a child, i.e. a rustic cleric without letters, is obted. Okay. So it's very, very scholastic in nature. Well, philosophy is at odds with law. Oh man, this is tough. This is important. Are Bolsians philosophers? Or are they just legalists? What is Bolsian philosophy? Let's take a look here at the cultural description we have for these people. So we the Palladians hate the Bolsians because they only know the value of coin, not the value of honor. So I feel like neither of these cultures are probably especially interested in philosophy. They hate us because we are disorganized, we do not honor contracts and do not write them the same way, and because we are extravagant. So they are discreet with their wealth. They are a society of merchants and lawyers and are cosmopolitan. They worship a fortune divinity and their constitution. Oh, this is so difficult. So this is what I'm thinking. So they worship their constitution and they worship their divinity. And I feel like the thing that unites these two together could either be doctrine or philosophy. And I feel like in the case of the Bolsians, it is probably doctrine and not philosophy. I think that their explanation, is it possible to live in a society of lawyers and not transfer the hair splitting of legalism to the hair splitting of metaphysics, epistemology, and ontology? And is it possible to be legalistic without being concerned with ethical theory? Are those things that can be covered sufficiently by doctrine in a way that is harmonious with legalism? Because when I think about legalistic societies, they tend to have overlap between philosophy and law. But I feel like maybe the Romans are a good example of a society that was legalistic in a sense, and definitely like law worshipping but also, although they had philosophy, they didn't. It wasn't the center of their culture. It was very popular, but they didn't. I don't know. They didn't. They kind of iterated on Greek philosophy and didn't really. And a lot of the Greek philosophy that was iterated on was still done in Greece as part of the empire. So I feel like that might make sense. So let's take a look at doctrine. Doctrine describes the tenets and beliefs of a particular religious faith. A character may only take the following variations if they are available on this life path or true general skill points. Yeah, cult doctrine, foreign doctrine, heretical doctrine. Okay, I think this is interesting because you know what? We never brought up philosophy or obsession with the truth in our original discussion of who the Bolsians are. So I think that this means that, yeah, it means that Ignacia is going to have philosophy, but she's not going to spend heavy on it. That is not something that the Bolsians really care very much about. And let's take a look at history, because I want to find out what sort of history she might be interested in. And I mean, here's the thing, is that Astrid has 2 history skills. She has both ancient and obscure history. I think, right? Yeah, ancient and obscure. And I think that she probably learned obscure history from Ignacia, not ancient history. I think ancient history is probably something she was studying herself. Okay. Cool. So we have 8 points left to spend. Put one in Ugly Truth. So feel like maybe few in symbology. Let's see astrology here. The study of the stars, the planets, and the zodiac, astrology is a deep and ancient science that describes the relations of the celestial sphere to the terrestrial. Naming the stars and constellations, constructing a person's horoscope, determining the auspices of the beginning of an enterprise, calling upon the stars to answer a question, interpreting celestial phenomena or omens. I think she maybe has like 2 in this. And say 2 in research. Bolsians are involved in enchanting, so let's do like a 3 in that. And think persuasion, 2 in there. as a former barrister. Or advocate, I should say. Okay. Alright. Night. See you later, Sid. Cool. That is skills. Now the fun bit. Let's get to traits. 12 trait points to burn. Yeah. Student. Drunk or geometric? Geometry is the mother of invention. Forget what that other guy says. This trait gives +1d to any skill that utilizes mathematics or measurements. So it gives you +1 to astrology, which would be kind of cool. Maybe. Meh, not super sold on it. Bitter and gifted. So he's definitely taking gifted. So cost of gifted. Oh, right. We gotta write down these trait costs. So, rabble-rouser. So, gifted is 5-point cost. Aura of fear. This character emanates fear. When entering his presence, all must pass a steel test. Once the steel test is made, the victim character does not have to test again until the next time he encounters this fearful creature. So instant steel test on everybody who comes into her presence. Because she's just badass like that. Is this right? I think there's something weird about that. I don't know if you have to actually spend on required traits. Because I'm not convinced. Because otherwise I don't have enough points. Oh, it costs 1 point for each of these. Okay, cool. Yeah. Okay, so gifted, bought gifted. Gifted is not required even by the Rogue Wizard, I believe. Correct. Yep. So that's a purchase they have to make. What else can we get from Rogue Wizard? Aura of Fear, Obscure Aura. So if we want her to be able to switch on and off the Aura of Fear, we may want to And I feel like, I don't know. I feel like this is something I want to ask Astrid's player about. Is like, does she live in fear of her master? She certainly exhibited fear when the master first, when she realized that she was about to meet her master again. However, that doesn't mean that she was always like that. But let's see how much Obscure Aura costs. 3 points. So let's say oh, we can't afford it. Can't afford that. Only have 2 points. So 2-point trait is what we're looking for here. A 2-point trait. Or 2 1-point character traits. Or Obscure Aura would be very good for her, but she can't afford it. What else could she have? The only trait in Advocate is Shrewd, so she already has that. And Geometric, which is a 3-point trait. And so I think she's out of life path traits to buy. So what are we going to do? I think we can spend on character traits now. Yeah. Trait points left over after purchasing required and optional life path traits may be spent on special traits. These traits come from the special trait list in each character stock chapter or from the general trait list in the back of this book. Each is priced from 1 to 10 points. Trait points cannot be saved. Spend them all now, please. Okay. So, two-point traits. Alert. Little electric voices echo round the character's skull. Character may glance, assess, and aim when stand and drill, hesitating. Therefore, if your character hesitates for 2 actions in fight, he may shit himself and get 2 aiming dice. In range and cover, alert grants 1d to the next shot after the character finishes hesitating. Not really. Aura of Innocence. I don't think you can have Aura of Fear and Aura of Innocence. Like, what is that? Well, maybe. That'd be super weird, though. Completely free of taint and guilt in any crime. I don't think that's interesting. Bottomless stomach. Nope. Charismatic or charming. Child prodigy. These are all 318. These are all 2 points. Okay, this trait is only available to 1 or 2 life path characters. No. Charismatic. There's something magnetic and enigmatic about this character that draws people to him. People generally enjoy his company. This is a call on for persuasion or oratory. Pick one. Or charming. Suave and likable, this character possesses a certain je ne sais quoi that makes him affable, despite his cowardly, murderous personality. Call on for soothing platitudes or seduction. She is definitely taking seduction. That is going to be a general skill for her. No doubt about it. I don't think she's charming. She's a rogue wizard. She's not charming. She may be charismatic. Let's consider it. Cold-blooded. I don't think so. I don't think she's a murderer. Contortionist, not this character. Cool-headed. Cool heads keep calm in crazy situations, reduce hesitation from surprise and fear, not pained by one. Maybe. Dexterity of the cat. Dramatic, dreadful. This character is so horrible to look upon, dread fills the hearts of his enemies and friends. No. Driven. There is a distant goal which drives this character on. Something burns in his mind that will make all this suffering, hardship, and pain worth it in the end. This trait is a call-on for one skill that is related to one of the goals listed in the character's beliefs. Choose the skill before play starts. I could see this, maybe. Estimation. I think this is a quantitative thing. Yeah. Exile. Definitely could be that. No, that's an elven trait. Yeah. Familiar face. Nah. I really don't think that's it. Fleet of foot. Fortitude. Meh. Glib. Nope. Healthy. No. Inspirational. Maybe. This character innervates and motivates other people by his mere presence, can be used as a call-on for oratory and command. No, I don't think so. I think it would be more charismatic than inspirational. Iron Stomach. Light Sleeper. Lithe. No. Meticulous. I don't think so. Nimble, no. Pulsy, no. Perfect pitch, no. Plain face, no. Poker face, maybe. More than just an inscrutable stone face, Poker Face is all about giving the face you need to mislead your opponent. This trait can be used as a call-on for falsehood and gambling games of chance. No. Doesn't have falsehood. Practice precision, no. Quiet, no. Quiescent, 342. Buying this trait allows the player to neutralize and remove one required life path trait. Oh. Yeah, no. I don't think so. Rain Man. If the character can see it, he can count it. Yeah, no. 100% no. Resigned to death, no. Rower, no. Scavenger, no. Scheming, no. Sea legs, no. Sense of direction, no. Sickly, no. Slow, no. Sonorous voice, probably not. Let's see. Sonorous voice. This character's voice sounds sweet and melodious to the ear. So delightful is the sound that it can be used as a call-on for seduction, persuasion, and suasion tests. Maybe. 1,000-yard stare, no. Tongueless, no. Tough, no. Weak-willed, no. Weather sense, no. And that's that. So, let's say, I'm thinking sonorous voice, charismatic, driven would all be options here. And I think given that she was an advocate, I'm going to say sonorous voice because it's probably something she used in her law practice as well, because persuasion and seduction both work there. Yeah. Cool. Cost 2. And we're done traits. Oh, yeah. All right, let's finish off these skills. Let's spend these general points. 4 to spend. Okay. Let's do that. General points. General skill points represent natural talent or additional experience not detailed in the life paths. Skill points from life paths can only be used to open advanced skills gained from your life paths. General skill points can open or advance any skill not subject to restrictions. Skills open with general points may not be advanced using regular skill points. Okay. So, I believe we are going to go and buy seduction and instruction. Ignacia is not a good person. First thing she goes for is first seduction to seduce her students, and second instruction to get students. This is not a good person. Not a good person. Not a good teacher. Teachers out there, do not do this to your students. I mean, maybe it's a character flaw, but it's definitely a flaw. Instruction. 278. Using the instruction skill, a character may teach another character. Cool. Yeah. Definitely taking instruction. It's probably something she learned while teaching Astrid. This is open, and she's got a point in it. Oh yeah, because I got 4 general points to spend, so that's... I need to go down to -4. And seduction. Seduction, yeah. What's she gonna like? Oh man, I love this so much. I love this game so much. It's so good. Just like what would Ignacia fork into seduction in order to seduce Astrid? It would be like history, sorcery, persuasion, rhetoric, research, maybe. So good. So good. This is like nerd seduction. Love it. How to seduce your grad students. I mean, I guess she was way younger than a grad student when she met Ignacia, so that would not actually be the case. Seduction involves the extraction of information or the persuasion of action from a subject through the manipulation of sexual desire and intention. This does not necessarily entail sexual intercourse. Yep. Forks are persuasion, soothing platitudes, and poetry. She does not have soothing platitudes. No way, but she does have seduction. And the root of seduction is will. The root of instruction is what? Perception will, I'm guessing. Also will. Okay. So she's taking that, and she's taking a point in the old seduction. -4. There we go. That's it. Skills are done. Traits are done. Yeah. Okay, so average health starts at the average of will and fort. So that will be 6. Very easy there. B6 health. Steel starts at a base of 3 and then raised or lowered by answering the questions found on page 91 of Burning Wheel Gold. So, health. Let's do health. Mortal Wound is already dealt with. Reflex is the average of perception, agility, and speed rounded down. That's done. Okay. Health. Does the character live in squalor and filth? No. Is the character frail or sickly? No. Was the character severely wounded in the past? No. Has the character ever been tortured and enslaved? No. Are you a dwarf, elf, or orc? No. Is the character athletic and active? No. Does the character live in a really clean and happy place, like the hills and the sound of music? No. Okay. Steel. Has the character taken a conscript, soldier, bandit, squire, or knight-type life path? No. Has the character ever been severely wounded? No. Has the character ever murdered or killed with his own hand? No. Has the character ever been tortured, enslaved, or beaten terribly over time? No. Has the character led a sheltered life free from violence and pain? Yes. Reduce steel by 1. Okay. Steel starts at a base of 3, so this is down to 2. Has the character been raised in a competitive but non-violent culture? Yes. Raise steel by 1. So this would be like the core the legal culture, right? Has the character been given birth to a child? I'm gonna say no. I don't think so. No. Is the character gifted or faithful or an equivalent? If so, raise steel by 1. Yes. To 4 steel. If the character's perception is exponent 6 or higher, raise steel by 1. Yes. If the character's will stat is exponent 5 or higher, raise steel by 1. 6. If the character's fort is exponent 6 or higher, raise steel by 1. And we're at a fort of 6. Yes. So, steel of 7. Get that steel. Some badass steel. Okay. Doesn't have emotional traits because she's a man. Cool. Resource points. Time to spend those resource points. Got so many resource points. And gonna need them because she's gonna buy some spells. So she has a relationship with Astrid, and we might as well do that first. Okay. Relationship. Relationship. Astrid. The cost. Relationship with a character is considered powerful and plays a large role in the game setting. No. A relationship with a character who is considered significant or important to the game setting is 10. A relationship with a character who plays a minor role in the setting costs 5. Okay, 5. Immediate family relationships? No. Other family relationships? No. Romantic relationships? Down to 3 points. Forbidden relationships? Yes, it's a cross-cultural thing. Hateful relationships? 0. So, minimum cost of 1 RP. Puts her down to 99 RP. And this is forbidden, romantic, and hateful. Yeah. Sad times. Okay. I believe she's going to have to purchase her lighthouse. Don't know if she has a reputation. Probably not. So let's look at property. Where is that in the book? Where is property? Maybe it's in resources? No. Maybe it says under gear. No. Is it here? Well, this is frustrating. Burning wheel property. Does this have something for property? No. Well, that's kind of crappy. Life paths, not in here. Skills. Traits. Steel. Resources. Relationships, circles, affiliations. Reputations. Duel of wits. Range and cover. Fight. Weapons. Armor and shields. Anatomy of injury. Sorcery. Emotional magic. Natural magic. Materials. Die of Fate. How am I missing this? I know there's a description of how much these things cost. Oh, is there human manish resource list? Is that what this is about? Could be it. Yeah, there we go. Manish resources. Well, sorry about that. That was certainly very, very long. Okay, so a villa is 15 RP. A keep is 60 RP. I feel like where she lives is equivalent roughly to a villa. House is 10. Villa's, yeah, I think this is like 15. Okay, so she has a lighthouse. 15 RP. She has shoes. 1 RP. Gotta buy those shoes. She has clothes. 1 RP. She may have some finery. I think she has some finery. Finery covers specialty clothing and expensive items that one would wear either on special occasions or when trying to make a point. Courtly regalia for nobles, vestments for priests, shining robes for mages, etc. Like clothing, this purchase includes a whole wardrobe, not just a single outfit. Take as much or as little as you like. So I'm gonna say, yeah, finery, 5 RP. Although it is very subdued because she's a Bolsian. Cash, personal effects. Personal effects. Player may purchase for his character personal effects of sentimental value. I mean, I don't know. I think it's kind of included in her property. It's not a big deal. A workshop. A workshop is a big toolkit. It is used for artisan and craftsman skill tests that require more than simple tools. So it doesn't count for alchemy or anything like that. Skill toolkits. Okay. So sorcery, does that have that? No tools. And enchanting... has tools. So I believe she would have an enchanting toolkit. 8. Points. Okay. 69. 69 remaining. Nice. Sorceress spells. I think that's where she's at now. Cool. Let's get some spells. And I believe this is the point where I was going to quit the stream because I don't want to reveal to the players what spells she has. So I may quit streaming now. And beliefs also, I may keep this a secret. Cool. So she really just needs to do the injury and recovery bullshit. So let's do this now, and then I'll move on and finish the resources offline. So her mortal wound is B10. B10 is mortal. And her superficial wound is equal to half of fort rounded down +1. Alright, that will be fort is a 6, which is a 3. +1 is a 4. So B4 is her superficial. And light, midi, severe, and traumatic. They may be set apart by up to half the fort exponent rounded up. So 3. Okay. So let's say this is light. MIDI. Oops. Light, MIDI, severe, traumatic, mortal. Yeah, that's all just right in a row. Cool. All right, so that's done. And then just get to the spells, and that's it. So that is how you mostly burn a character in Burning Wheel. The only things left to do after that are the resources and the circles, and the beliefs and instincts. But these are these are things that I want to hide from the players. So I still want them to be able to watch this stream and enjoy that if they care to. So I'm just going to leave it here, and if you have any questions about how the character turned out, then post them in the comments and I will respond later. So thanks for watching this stream. If any of you made it this far, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you will give the Burning Wheel a try, because it's a very fun game. Even just burning up a character is a game in itself, and as you can see, I had a good time tonight doing that. If you even want to burn up your own personal character burner, like I was doing with my players in the chat here, you could totally do that just for fun. It's good time if you are into this kind of nerd shit. But yeah, I will see you around. Probably have a new Blades video out soon. I have all the notes written up, and I just need to record it. So I've been absolutely swamped with life stuff and with GM prep, so that's kind of been keeping me from my Blade series, but rest assured it is still continuing. It is still happening. So I will see you next time with another stream.